Hello, I'm Nancy Alexander from Ladybug Wreaths and Ladybug Certified. I wanted to make a free video for you today. And I know I've made bow making videos before, but as you can see by my counter, I've gotten in a lot of new ribbon. And I've been having some fun today, mixing colors and playing around with it a little bit. So I thought it's time to make another video for you and maybe do something a little different, but I'm still going to do the basic bow. So we're going to start with that first. Now this is the burlap ribbon, and it's woven. It doesn't feel like the thick burlap, but you can feel a texture to it, and it's wired, and it's cream and green and pink. It's really pretty, and it's really easy to make a bow with. And if you've watched any of my bow making videos before, you know I start with my streamer. And I've got a little notch right here on my counter where I marked off about 30 inches. I start with about a 30-inch streamer. And this just curls really easy. Okay, I start with the short part toward my body. And we'll try to hold it up so you can see what I'm doing. First thing I do is pinch it together and hold it with my left hand, and I take that loop away from my body and come back up underneath and pinch it. Now that's probably about 5 to 6 inches. You can, you make them different lengths according to how big you want your bow. Now, I've already got it pinched and stuck together. Now I've got to twist it. So I'm going to twist it with my fingers. I raise my finger up right here and hold it down. I want to make another loop exactly like this one, opposite the first one. Now, y'all know I make my bows in layers, and the first layer is a bow tie. This looks like a bow tie, right? Then the second layer is going to be an X. And as I'm making my bows, I work away from me. I don't ever come back toward me with any of my loops. So I've got a piece hanging out right here. I'm going to twist it. I already pinched it together. I'm going to twist it. And the way I twisted it, it just naturally points to the right. So that's going to be the first of 4 loops of an X. And if you'll notice, it's a little bit longer than my bow tie loops. It's probably 1.5 inches longer. And when I'm working, if this gets in my way, I tuck it up underneath my arm. Now I'm going to twist that and bring it toward me. Now these 4 loops of the X need to all be the same length. So as you can tell, this is the first loop, this is the second loop, and they are the same length. Now I want to go out to the other side of my bow for the 3rd loop of the X. So I'm going to twist it so it comes out in that direction on the left side. And notice I'm pinching it together with my fingers as I go. If it's a little bit long or not quite long enough, you can just kind of slide it up and down. There's the 3rd loop of the X. And I brought it toward me and back up underneath. And I'm pinching it again. There's the 4th loop of the X. So if you hold it up now, you'll see the bow tie in the middle and the 4 loops of the X. Now actually, that's all there is to making a bow. My next layer will be another bow tie. The next layer would be another X. And if I wanted to keep on till I made a really big bow, I'd keep on doing the exact same thing. I'm not going to make one that big today. So now I'm going to twist my ribbon again. And to do the bow tie always goes right down the middle. And notice it's coming up Each layer is getting a little bit longer as I go. And I'm going to twist this loop and bring it toward me. That's the second loop in the bow tie. Let's slide that in a little bit. I got that too long. Now, with these real pretty wired ribbons, you don't need a whole lot of loops. Some people like a lot of them. But as you can see in this wreath, when we put our bows into our wreaths, we put flowers and greenery right into the center of our bow. So I'm about ready to stop this bow, and to do that, I want a loop that comes out the top. So I'm going to twist it again. Make sure you hold it tightly with your fingers. And I come up, and I want it to point back down on the left side, because I've still got a loop hanging out the front that's going to be my streamer for the right side. So there it is, and don't let go of it until you've tied it. I tie all of my bows with pipe cleaners. Y'all hear my wind chimes? It's getting warm today, and the wind has not stopped blowing. And notice I'm pushing this really hard with my thumb and my forefinger and twisting it very tightly. That's one of the secrets of having a really good bow. And when you pull it that tightly, you know how some people make just a little tiny loop right in the middle of their bow? But if it's tied tightly enough, you don't need that little tiny loop that will hide however you tied it, because mine's not showing. And I haven't even straightened out my loops yet, and it's already, all the loops are all pointing in the right direction. And we'll cut this streamer off. Now the one that I started with that came out the middle of my bow is still there. I'm just going to pull it down tightly. You won't be able to tell it's really coming out the middle. And I just kind of curl on a little bit. And I'm going to shape the loops just a little bit. They don't need much shaping. I just kind of put my fingers down into the center of my bow, to the back of the loop, and to the front of the loop. And I kind of push it down and then push it back up. That opens up the loops and makes your bow look nice and full and pretty. Have you ever made a bow before? Well, I have taught, golly, probably thousands of ladies how to make bows, and I know that you can do it. Okay, there's our bow. Didn't take long at all, and I've got 3 loops on one side and 3 on the other side, and then my loop coming out the top. I'm sorry, 4 loops on each side, and then my loop coming out the top, and then my streamers. And that would be really easy to add to any wreath. It'd be really pretty. Now, I said I've been playing around with ribbon today, and I have. If you can see my counter, I'm going to make a double ribbon bow next. I'm just going to hang this off the front. I love this ribbon. I did tell y'all it was burlap, didn't I? Burlap is easy to make a bow with. Now we've got some choices. This is the new chevron ribbon, which I love. This is burlap, just like this was, and actually this would have made a beautiful double ribbon bow. just these two. And both of these are denim, the new denim. This is the pink dot with green dots, and this is the solid green. I love this together. I love the green with the chevron together. And you know, chevron ribbon is just a zigzag pattern across your ribbon this way, not this way. You'll find some that way, but it's not the nicer ribbons. That would be really pretty. And I think I bought every color in the new denim that they came out with because they're beautiful. This is the denim with the white dot. It will make a beautiful bow. And the white and aqua chevron is really pretty. And then I've got the raspberry denim with white dots. So, I've got choices here. And I know you're probably thinking, oh, I'd like to see a double bow made out of that and out of that. But I think my choice is going to be these two for today. Although I love all the other colors, we're going to make a double bow out of these. So I'm going to slide this out. Whoops. And all these new ribbons, y'all, they're coming with, all the new denim ribbon comes with 50 yards on a roll. Do you know how many bows you can make with 50 yards of ribbon? If just a normal size bow, that's 8 or 10 bows. But then if you're making a double ribbon bow, it'll take even less of each one. Now, when I start, it's easier for me if I just unroll it and let it lay on the floor, because my hands are going to be pinching ribbon when it starts running out, and I don't want to have to do this while I'm holding ribbon. I'm going to do the same thing as I did before, only I'm going to be holding 2 instead of 1. So I'm going to measure off my 30 inches. And I'm going to pinch it. Get this straight. I'm going to pinch it together again in the middle with the streamers coming toward my body. And now we're going to make the first loop of our bow tie. And notice I'm pinching it with my fingers. Now I'm going to turn it and bring the second loop toward my body, coming up and then up underneath again. Now this ribbon, this bow, we will separate the loops when we're through, but when we're making it, we make it with them one on top of each other. Okay, there's the first layer. There's your bow tie. You remember what's next? That's right, it's the X. So the first loop of my X is going to come out to the right, about 1.5 inches longer than the bow tie was. Hold this up underneath my arm again, keep it out of my way. Now notice I'm twisting it, and after I twist it, I put a finger back down on it so it'll stay twisted. Bringing it toward me, making it the same length as that first loop. Now that's the second loop of the X. We got number 1 and number 2. I'm going to twist this, and when I twist it in that direction, it just naturally sticks out to the left side. And notice I'm pinching it together in my fingers. Now, when you're making a double bow, it's more to hold and it's more to pinch. So notice I've got all my fingers holding stuff in different places, and that's something that will just come with practice. You just need to buy you some ribbon and start practicing looking at my video and going over it. Now this is going to be the 4th loop of the X. Now if I wasn't using 2 ribbons, I would probably go back and add another bow tie, but I'm not, because when I separate these, we're going to have double this many loops. So now's the time to come up to the top and make my loop at the top. So I'm twisting it again, and notice I've kept the pink with the green dot on top the whole time. I'm going to bring this up and then point it back down in the left, toward the left side, because this is going to be my left streamer. My right streamer was what I started with. And since I'm holding 2 ribbons, my wrist right through here is really aching, and yours will too. Your hands will get used to it. At first it's hard to hold. Okay, then we'll tie it very tightly, just always tie it as tightly as you can. When you're through, you should not be able to pull a loop and have it come slide out from where it's tied. If it slides out, then you don't have it tight enough. I'm going to go ahead and cut off these other 2 streamers and get those out of the way. Now the first streamers that I started with, I'm going to pull. Notice I'm holding my bow by the pipe cleaner at the back. And I'm going to pull this straight down. You can't even tell that that's coming out of the middle of my bow. Now I'm going to hold this against my body, and I'm going to separate my loops. And I pull them apart, but I kind of give them a little sideways twist too, so they'll stay separate, because they kind of like to slide back in together. And just go all the way around your bow, separating it and twisting it as you go. And I'm trying to kind of alternate colors, like pink and then green and then pink and then green. But sometimes it doesn't quite work out that way. If it doesn't, it's no big deal. And I'm still pulling them apart and giving them a twist. Sounds like a dance. Okay. Now I've got them all separated. All I need to do now, I'm going to start at the back. I'm going to reach inside each loop and run my finger along the back and then the front. Notice, or you can even put your hand inside the loop and do this, but I like to reach all the way inside and push it with my finger, and that makes the loop stand up a little bit better. Now on the edge you can put your hand in and do it like that. And I do love these ribbons and these colors together. Okay. And if the loops are not exactly where you want them, you can just kind of pull them around a little bit. Then, when we put this in a wreath, sometimes we'll separate our streamers. Sometimes we may bring one over here and tuck it in, and have another one tucked up underneath the wreath right here, and maybe have 2 coming out curling down. There's just all kind of things you can do with your streamers. Now, notice I'm running my fingers along the edge of the wired ribbon. You know, like when you're using curling ribbon and you get your scissors to curl it. Well, you just do this with your fingers on the edges of this ribbon where it's wired. Okay. That's yummy. Reminds me of sherbet ice cream. Lime sherbet was my favorite. Okay, I'm going to lay that right there, and I'm going to give you another hint or two. I don't know, maybe I've used these once on a video. I don't know if I have or not that you've seen. A lot of times, I just like to add a few little loops into my wreath. I may have a bow over on this side, and I'm thinking, oh, I want a little color right here, or I want some color here with some streamers. And there's two ways that you can do that. You can do it with your ribbon, put on a pick, or you can do it a really quick way that I'll show you right now. And I'm going to use this really pretty hot pink with white dot denim ribbon. I'm going to get a little streamer. I'm going to pinch it. And I'm going to make one loop. And I'm going to make sure it goes all the way down, because I'm going to bend it back up. If you're not careful right here, it could slide out of your fingers. And I'm going to come up with this loop a little bit higher, and I'm going to twist. Now, I've got two streamers, and I've got two loops. And this is where I'm going to cheat a little bit. I stapled it. I might put one more in the middle since this is a little bit thicker ribbon. And look how pretty that is. You can put a little glue on the end of that, on the tip of it, and then just push it into the side of your wreath where you're working. Now this wreath is already finished, so it doesn't really match. I'm just using this as an example. And look how cute that looks. Or you can do it, if I were going to do it up underneath here, I would put a long pick on it. This is a 5-inch pick. So I would twist my pick around the ribbon, twist my wire, and then bring the wire down the pick. And we always, anytime we use a pick with wire, we always use some floral tape. Comes in green and in brown. And it's not sticky if you touch it, but when you pull it, it sticks to itself. So if I was going to use this at the bottom of my wreath, I've got the pick. I can just point up, put some glue on it, and stick it. Sometimes you have to kind of work it around a little bit to find the right spot. And you stick it in, glue it in, maybe tuck a flower or something around it. Now remember, this doesn't really go with this wreath. I'm just using that because it was already hanging here. Maybe put the flower out one of your loops. There's all kinds of little ways that you can make loops, or tails as I call them. Sometimes I don't want a loop. I just want a tail of ribbon that will hang out my wreath. And to do that, I do the same thing with my staple gun. And I will twist that around a little bit. So you may have a spot up in the top of your wreath that you just need a little color, but you don't want a big old bow, or you don't even need loops. Look, just a couple of streamers hanging out. Maybe wrapped around toward the back a little bit. Work with it a little bit. Well, let it stay there. Anyway, you get the idea. Ribbon is so popular today, and you can do the exact same things that I'm doing in a deco mesh wreath. And everybody loves deco mesh, and they love adding little loops of ribbon like this, especially in the dot or in the chevron pattern. Those are gorgeous mixed with deco mesh. Okay, that's it for today. I want you to watch this video. I want you to buy some really pretty ribbon, and I want you to practice, and before you know it, you'll be making bows for everybody. And by the time Christmas gets here, you will definitely be making Christmas bows for everybody. Thanks for joining me today. I am so glad that you allowed me to come into your home and talk to you about making bows, one of my most favorite things to do. I'll see you later. Bye.